just kidding. Come back to the old
Look
high
at him
school
look at you
musical
like,
days.
what are you doing? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome to my channel for the first time. Here's Finn. Today we have David here to help tell a story time. As you guys can tell by the title of this video, his car was stolen right out of our driveway. So we are going to tell you the story about what happened and everything that has happened since then, since this was like probably a month and a half ago. Yeah, it's been a while. So
You can tell a story.
you're just gonna chime in?
Yeah.
Okay, so we bought our house and then we did not move in right away. I wanted to get some projects done, and then since David works from home with like a whole setup, we were living with my dad and he wanted to wait to make the transition until we were like completely ready with our Wi-Fi and everything like that all set up. And so we did not move in right away. So our cars weren't ever here overnight. Once we did move in, it was in like the first like week or two that, I think it was a Friday since David was off work.
Yeah,
hello,
Thursday night, Friday morning.
today. It was a Friday morning. Why do you want it from me? It was I haven't been home all day, so he's missed me.
He's been sitting in my lap during work all day.
It was a Friday morning. We woke up and David is off on Fridays, so we like slept in a little bit and then came out into the garage to start working on, I think it was the doors we were working on. I was working on. I asked David for like the littlest bit of help.
It was either that or the stain on the
yeah, the stain on our bedside tables.
Yeah.
But we went out into the garage together and opened the garage door so we could have like natural light and like let the breeze in for when we were working. And you want to let him out? So we went out into the garage, opened the garage doors. We were going to start our project, start being productive, everything like that. Turn around and David's like, what did you do with my car? And I was like, what do you mean? What did I do with your car? You parked your car last night. I've been inside all day yesterday, all last night, all this morning. Like, I don't know what you mean. What did I do with your car? And so he starts calling his parents and we're like looking on the street. He's like, did anyone take it? Did I forget that I let anyone borrow it? We don't let people borrow our cars. So I don't know why that was our first thought, but we were like looking at the street and everything and didn't see his car. And we were like, we literally just moved into this neighborhood, didn't change our address or anything yet.
Also, Elizabeth's lived in this neighborhood before,
yeah.
And we know people who've lived in this neighborhood, and it's one of the nicest, least crime neighborhoods
in Northern Kentucky. Like out of all the places we looked at, this was like the dream because this is like the nicest neighborhood. But the thing with Northern Kentucky is, if you're like not familiar, is that there are a lot of like nicer neighborhoods. Oh my gosh, I had no idea we had lighting under our cabinets. There are a lot of nice neighborhoods, but then they're like pocketed with not so nice neighborhoods, and so sometimes people just wander into the nicer neighborhoods, and that's where we ran into this problem. Because when I lived in this neighborhood before, I had zero issues with anything.
How long did you live over here for last time? Over a year.
Over a year.
Yeah, year and a half, I think.
And my friend still lives in the house that we lived in, so...
So we've known people in this neighborhood for a while. Yeah,
for years, since high school. I called my dad and he was like, someone stole your car, like literally stole it. And David had the keys inside. We did not have a second copy of the key because we bought it used and there was no extra copy.
Literally bought it from somebody who works for the insurance company that does my car insurance. So they're like, insurance asked if, maybe did the person you buy it from maybe have another key and come and take it? Like, you want to ask your colleague?
There was no extra key.
That was just funny.
So my dad's like, you need to call the police right now, like hang up. And so we call the police. They get to our house. Of course, we have a nosy neighbor across the street. He's coming out like, what's going on?
Nicest police officer ever, too.
Yeah, he kept asking questions and we were like, Nothing's up to date on our licenses. Cars haven't been transferred over. Like, nothing has changed because we've literally just, like, moved in and started sleeping here, like, last week. Like, we have done nothing. He was like
3 days
okay.
ago, 4 days ago.
And so he started taking our information, and he kept being like, I asked you that. Yeah, I asked you that. What about, yeah, I already asked you that. And, like, obviously doesn't go through, like, cars getting stolen very often. And so I looked at him and I was like, how often does this happen? He was like, oh, hardly ever.
Hardly ever.
I was like, great. So we filed a police report with him. He said usually a lot of cars are taken from northern Kentucky because people need a ride down into Cincinnati, and it'd turn up in like a week or so. And we were like, okay, I guess.
Like 90+% of the time, it gets found within a week in the general Cincinnati area.
This all happened on September 25th, which was actually the 2-year anniversary of my mom going missing. So I kind of found the whole situation humorous. The fact that that used to be something that would make me so upset. And then I was like, whatever. David was more angry about it, but he kind of came to the conclusion that that was
I thought it was a good thing, but
that it was a good thing that his car got stolen. And so for those of you who haven't been with my channel for a while, about a year ago, at the end of September, my car was totaled. I was driving it and someone T-boned me. No one was hurt, and their insurance ended up paying for everything. So I got a new car, a huge upgrade, and it ended up being like a really good situation. And everyone kept saying, oh, that was totally your mom, like giving you a new car and all of that. So when this happened, David was like, yes, it's my turn. Your mom is giving me a new car, and this is so great. And this is the way it's going to happen because she knows that you wouldn't let me sell this car to get a new one, and you wouldn't let me just buy a new one straight off the lot. So this is the way that it's like working to be like for me to be able to get a new car. Like literally someone had to steal my car out of the driveway for you to agree to let me get a new one. And it kind of worked out like that, except for we kind of went through some bumps along the way with that for whether or not they were going to find it. So that was on a Friday. Saturday came and my dad was like, well, if we don't know when they're gonna find your car, like I have an extra I can just take over to you guys and David can use it. So the next day, my dad goes through, he fills the car up with gas, he goes through, he cleans it.
Nice gentleman.
Yeah, all sorts of things. He was like, David can use it for as long as he needs, blah, 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 blah. And we were like, oh, that would be awesome. Thanks so much. He stops at one of his friend's retirement parties, and while he is inside, someone comes. He was parked closer to the road, like in a parking lot, and someone went and was driving, and they had an issue with the accelerator on their motorcycle and hit the side of his car, completely messed everything up. I can also insert pictures of that. So like,
and from what we were told, he went through the driver window, through the glass, across to the other side, and through the passenger window out the car.
I love how slow you talk to think through.
But like, that's crazy. What are the chances that you would actually like?
Yeah, so he
go
literally
perfectly
like
through
went
both
straight
windows
through the car. But yeah, that was ridiculous. So literally,
the night
we were
before.
like, no one let David borrow a car right now because literally his car was stolen right out of the driveway, and then the one he's supposed to use was completely totaled. Luckily, no one was in it. The guy, the motorcyclist, was fine. My dad talked to him at the hospital the next day. No broken bones or anything, like crazy. So that's just something on the side there, a little bonus story. But I ended up calling my friend the morning that David's car went missing, and she called the police that morning also because her car was rifled through that morning also. And so she made a police report about it, and then a couple neighbors down also had their cars gone through, and then someone across town also had their car stolen. So it was like,
I think there are 2 or 3 cars in this neighborhood that were actually stolen.
No, we were one of 2.
One of 2 was the other one down the street?
No, it was on the other side of town, is what the guy said. Town, like we live in a big town.
No, we don't.
But anyway, yeah, so we go on. It like a week goes by because it's exactly the day that my mom's body was found, so it was October 2nd. and we go over to David's parents' house for dinner, and there's a letter for him, and because his car is still registered at their house, because obviously we just moved. The letter expressed that, hey, we're just letting you know that your car was impounded and it's in the Cincinnati police impound lot, and it's been there since Friday, September 25th at 7 a.m.
2 hours before we even reported it missing. We were still asleep when they found it, and did they call to tell us that they found it? Did they even try to call
No.
the police to let them know they had it?
So since it was like,
Nope.
we're crossing state lines here, everything got like super blurred and everything. David's car was never reported missing properly, I guess is what they said. And then the people who found his car, instead of calling or emailing or anything, they just decided to send a letter. So it like took a long time to get there. So we found that. You can talk about going to see it. We can insert pictures.
So we went to go see it because we were already heading towards my parents' house anyway that day, I think, or something.
Yeah,
so,
we're already close to downtown.
Yeah, so we decided to just go see it, and first they only let me go back because they only let one person go back, and then the owner. And at the time when I went and said, hey, I got this letter saying that this was here, they're like, oh, well, let me look it up real quick. And they looked it up and they're like, oh, it's still reported missing. They never actually put in all the information for it. So they said, all right, here's a little map. Here's where your car is in the impound lot. Have at it. Go look at it. Do whatever you want. Just wear wear a mask. Don't touch anything in case there's drugs or whatever. Sharp objects, stuff like that. Then I get a call while I'm going back there. I get a call from the police saying, oh, hey, we found a hit on your car. They found it. And I'm like, well, I know they found it because I'm the one who found it. And they reported it to you. And then insurance also called me and said, by the way, we just found it. And I'm like, once again,
you tell stories all over the place. I hope they're not lost.
Regardless, I got a lot of phone calls saying that my car was found when I already knew it was found because I'm the one who found it. But I went back, checked it. It wasn't in as bad of a shape that I thought, but I was able to come back. There was some stuff in the car that we wanted to keep, obviously.
So David ended up going back, and they let me go back since we were married, and I had stuff
I convinced
in the
them
car
to let
too.
her go back too.
And so they gave us gloves because they were like, a lot of times the guy who was working with us, he was actually pretty funny. He was like, a lot of times when cars are stolen like this, it's a lot of drug uses in there, and we don't want you guys to go back there, rummage through your stuff, and then be looping around the parking lot, and we have to scoop you up later. And we were
on the cement,
off the pavement.
on the pavement, something like that.
And so we were like,
Cement.
okay, we'll wear gloves. But
we weren't allowed to carry stuff back. We had a shopping cart that we had to use it with.
mm-hmm. Yeah, they didn't want us like touching it on like our person. So
yeah.
We only had like folding chairs and his dress shoes and then a gallon of paint in the back and his CDs.
And CDs.
But they had like gone through and rummaged through everything. They got every ounce of
all the change,
receipts, old gum wrappers, anything in there they took. Like literally just
the
wiped
garage
the
door
whole thing.
opener that didn't work, but
They took it, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is like kind of sketchy because they like know where the car came from and they know the garage door button and like all of that, but it didn't really work when we got it and we just moved in, so we didn't like fix it yet.
Well, and we found out that the way that they took the car was so when I do the keyless entry, 3 of the 4 doors work, and the one door that doesn't work was the driver's side door. You have to lock that manually, and
he never locked his car.
I never locked
that
it.
is why it was stolen, but like they would have hotwired it or something, but like they had a key, so I don't know if they rummaged through it in our driveway and then like found a key like under a seat way back in the back or something that like, we didn't know about.
So the insurance company said they looked at the key, there's a thing hanging off that we didn't notice that said it was from an auto store down in Lexington, or like a store, like a body shop or something, like a local one down there that is really sketchy. So they had like a key made for it. I forget the word he used, but like
they probably just had a key, and then it just happened to work, because this is one of the most commonly stolen cars. My cousin Ben did some research. He said it's one of the most common stolen cars out there. So
And it's
they
not
also
the best
did.
looking car either, so I don't know why you'd want to steal
It
it.
was like a Lexus, but
An
it was
05
not,
Lexus
not
ES with a-
fancy. But they had, David bought it used, and so when he bought it used, it had like an Elon College University something sticker on the back of it, and that they had gone through and scraped it off because we never went through and did that. And so they scraped it off so it wouldn't be as easily identified. But when we found the car, it had 3 out of 4 tires were completely flat. Front bumper was damaged. The windows had been rolled down, and it rained the day before we found it, so we knew it was just like sitting in the lot, like getting rained on and everything. And so that, hi baby. That probably messed with the electrical stuff in the window and everything like that.
Hey, bud.
But they ended up, once we saw the car and found it and everything, hello, thank you. Once we found the car and everything, we started working with insurance more. We had already put out a claim, and they said that they were just going to count it as a total loss, send us a check. But then they found the car, and they sent like someone to go look at it, and they were like, oh, it's not a total loss, this will be an easy fix, like blah blah blah. So then we were like, oh my gosh, this is all like so stressful just for them.
We were just about to go out of town too, so luckily for us, it's like, all right, we're gonna go out of town, get away for a little while. You figure out what you need to figure out. Give me a call once you get everything done, and I'm not even gonna think about it for 3 or 4 days.
And so we were like beyond like irritated with it, because we were like, man, the car gets stolen. We don't know what happened to it, what happened with it while they were gone, and now they're just going to like come through and say that they fixed things. There's probably gonna be more problems in the future because of this. And we were just like bummed, because we were like, man, we thought like my mom was sending him a new car, like we thought we got a new car, what is going on? But then they sent it to the Lexus dealership to have it more thoroughly looked at, and they found like $3,000 to $4,000 more in damage underneath of it. And so they're like, we're just gonna like send you the check, like it was already written out before, we're just gonna pop it in the mail and send it your way. So now we've gotten the check, car is not ours anymore, don't have anything to do, they don't want anything with it, so it all worked out for the best. He has not gotten a new car yet. It's just like, this is my busy season, so the fact that I'm using my car to go to work and stuff, and he works from home, like we just don't have the time to be going to the dealership and like driving around and stuff when I work. Hey, stop it. That's not very nice to buy him.
He just wants to play. He's been doing this
He
all
wants
day.
to play so bad. Okay, well that's our update. When he gets a new car, if he wants to have a car tour video go out, which I'm sure he will, because he's so into looking at cars now, he loves it. We'll drive down the road and he'll be like, you see that car? That's a so-and-so, 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 and I think I'd like to look into that.
I'm a cheapskate though when it comes to cars.
You only pay cash for cars, so.
Well, yeah, if it were up to me and we were in a position to do so, I would not buy a car and I would just invest all the money, because I love the stock market.
Yeah, but it's been more than a month without him having a car, and I cannot do that
getting
anymore.
really antsy.
But the good news is insurance cashed us out more than he ever paid for it, so
Yeah.
we like hit the lottery with that one. But that is pretty much it for
Also,
this.
one last detail, at the impound lot, we asked them where they found the car, and they actually found it in downtown Cincinnati, and the way that it was towed was because they left it in the middle of the street, and it was a hazard.
Yeah, it was a hazard to other cars, so they just left it, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, drop it off somewhere.
But yeah, they said they're not really doing any work to find whoever stole it. We don't really care. It's whatever. So, yeah. But if you guys have any more questions, leave them down below. I think we pretty much went over everything. If you guys want to see a car tour, I don't even know if you will, for when he does get a car in the future, or like the car shopping process or anything like that, let me know. Actually, we'll probably be done with all of that before this video goes out, because I'm filming it in advance, so surprise, you might get it, you might not. But that is it for today's video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe, because we're so close to 10,000. Alright.
I'm subscribed. Are you?
See, bye-bye. Bye-bye. Aww. I think you, Ben. Bye, guys.